All right, I think we're about good to go. So, what do we need to do today? We've got all of this refactoring to do still, but the broad idea was to get Eventsub stuff coming in using the more powerful token that comes from the broadcaster, and then um, going out, we read from supabase. We subscribe to whatever table we need to, and feed that to the Twitch bot using a Helix client to send to the channel. So we need two tokens. We need a two-token flow. We need bilateral tokens, one much stronger and one much weaker. And I need a Liberty. All right, let's see if we can get this rolling. So in theory, it should work roughly well like it is, although it's ugly, in that we're spawning a client, an OIDC client per spawn an OIDC client per thing, right? We spawn one for the incoming data and we spawn one for the outgoing data. But only one of them needs to listen to Eventsub. The other one is just used to send messages to the channel. So that should be doable. And we've essentially got that here. What we don't have yet is a way to have supabase trigger notifications. So that'll probably be next, but let's just make sure that we don't still have build errors and nonsense like that. It's got ads rolling through, I apologize. That's going to be one of the first things, is responding to ads. Okay, so we've got our listener. Let's just make sure that the listener still works and that it's reading the tokens correctly. So what I might do is, as an intermediate step, just run the old one, or just run the off screen just in case I've accidentally leaked anything. So it's op run cargo run. Oh, and you have to not mask anything. There we go. Quick authorize for our one password. I need to work on figuring out how that timeout could be lengthened. Oh, we're rebuilding this morning. For some reason, supabase dependency is missing a lib target. I don't know what's going on there. Okay, so we're not building yet because we've got Twitch IRC, which is not required anymore. So we'll just go to chat, and none of this is used right now. And in fact, we'll comment out the same thing in main. And we'll very likely get rid of it. Twitch IRC is the past. Eventsub is the future, or at least so I'm told. Okay, so far we're working. I think it's going to ask me for a confirmation. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay. Now, I don't know if it's going to let me. Let's just check and see if chat is echoing or not. not, as it turns out. Okay, that's good to know. Um, right. Okay, so we're not quite back to where we were. Not quite, not quite. Let's find out why. So we create an event sub listener using my config. Um, but we're likely trying to send chat as something else. So let's see what we've hard coded in Eventsub. We've probably hard coded it as something else, as the bot token, for example. We don't need that anymore. That's gone the way of the dodo. What IDs are we using to create the client, for example? We wonders, we wonders. Yeah, here we go. Send chat messages using the bot user ID, but we have no permission to do that because we're using a different token. So for example, we could use, I think it's broadcaster application ID. Yeah. Okay. So that's one thing. Um, actually, let's just look for the string bot and see where that gets us. Yeah, here we go. Application ID. Not that this would ever work because that's talking about subscriptions. Oh, it might work actually. Uh, User ID ref is not satisfied. Is that potentially because we do something different with this value? It's an option secret, whereas the bot user ID is an option string. Yeah. Okay. So actually, this is a different ID. What we're actually talking about is probably the channel ID, right? Yeah. So channel ID. Yep. Okay. Where else do we use bot? Here we go. The client is being created. The subscriptions. Now, self user ID, where is that set? In the WebSocket client. And that's using channel ID. Okay, sure. Anything else that uses bot? Yes. Uh, channel follow. So this one again should be channel ID. And these two numbers will actually be the same, but that's okay. Wolverus, that's a lot of indentation, the kind of thing I'd split out each match arm into a called and named function. I think you're absolutely right. There's a ton of refactoring that could happen here. Hey, how you doing, by the way? Um, a lot of this has been in get it working mode, but you're 100% correct. I'm already thinking that I need each thing to have its own OIDC client. It's felt impossible to catch a stream. Oh, not at all. Hey, I'm delighted when anyone shows up to watch this mess. I actually have the day off today because it's a public holiday in New Zealand today, so I'll be doing a little bit more today. Okay, so any other instances where we've hard-coded the bot ID that we need to change? Doesn't look like it. Okay, so let's run that quietly again and see if anything else shakes loose. Nope. What's our problem? Broadcaster application ID. Yeah, that certainly doesn't look right, and it probably won't be the right value anyway. He waits 2 seconds. So yep, there we go. So that actually is going to be channel ID. Twitch likes lots of IDs, lots of different IDs. Can't move out and mark. That's because we're not cloning. Or is it unwrap clone? I always forget. Oh, that'll do it. Okay. See if there's anything else going on there. Does a quick redirect to the OIDC off stream, and then hopefully nope, we're still not quite there. Damn. All right, so that should be that block there. What else could I have changed that would have broken this? Much refactoring, no tests. Tisk tisk. Um, hmm. Yeah, I think that's definitely wrong. We're asking for claims. We don't care about channel bans right now, but we asked for channel chat message and channel follow. And in fact, we could also now ask for this one because we're using the broadcaster token. And then there must be somewhere else that we're referring to the bot in hard code that we shouldn't be. Let's try looking in IDC client. Oh, I bet I know why. It's the redirect is set up. We changed the redirects to use separate routes for the bot and the broadcaster. So I need to change the redirect routes in Twitch's setup, which I'll do off screen, and see where that takes us. Okay, so I need to do it for this account, which is what, dev.twitch, something like that. Yeah, where's my dashboard, please, Twitch? Dashboard, your console, that's what they call it. Eloquent bot, manage, redirect URL. There we go. So it's going to be auth and broadcaster. I am not a robot. Ah, select all squares with bicycles. One moment while I select all squares with bicycles. Select all squares with motorcycles. Don't we have AI for this now? Okay, save. All right, and we need to do the same thing for the bot account, which is, I believe, open in Firefox. Okay, div Twitch developers, your console, manage, and this should be auth bot. No doubt I'll have to do the same annoying captcha. Yep. All squares with bicycles. Save. All right. Cool. So we'll kill that and run it again and see if anything else shows up. Uh, redirect mismatch. Parameter redirect URL does not match registered URI. Interesting. And yet it does. I've just changed it. I wonder if it takes time to update. I might try that one more time. That certainly wasn't happening with raw localhost. It's actually sending a 403. Oh no, it's returning a 403 because there's nothing set. Okay. Well, that's annoying. Also, I still seem to be running an ad. That's something that needs to be automated. Okay. Let's just give it a minute because I have a suspicion it just needs time to update. Otherwise, it may not support routes, like sub-routes like that. I don't see why it wouldn't, but you never know. But yeah, we'll just give it a minute. So using two completely separate routes, unless this isn't the way you specify, unless this isn't the way that you specify routes in, oh, what's it called, Axum, when you've got a sub-route like that. I don't see why it wouldn't be, but maybe they need you to create the auth route and then create a sub-route. I'll just check to see if that answers properly. So for example, we could, oh, well, I just killed the application. That was done. Let's try one more time. Now it pops up a warning saying I'm about to leave Twitch. All right, let's see. I was definitely not doing this with the raw URL. There may be something we can pass. Twitch IDC, you are about to leave. See if, hey, yeah. If you've already gone through the OAuth flow, nothing happens, that's not actually a useful response because I know exactly why he's having an issue. Um, hmm. Auth2 authorized step always displays a warning screen instead of redirecting, yeah. There's nothing you can change on your side to prevent this screen. It doesn't normally do this. Certainly hasn't done it previously. Interesting. I wonder if it's possible that I'm sending the wrong request each time. The other thing is I wonder if CSRF is not correct. I don't understand why that would provoke a pop-up warning though. Was working beautifully with just a bare host with no path. Could also try and see if it still does it if you actually let's look at the start of the flow. Which is in authenticate. So we create a one-shot channel. We request an OIDC client command authorize URL, and then we wait. And then we read the one-shot, and then we open the URL, which we're doing. So we know we're getting to that point. I might just echo that URL. Which is, I guess, some minor code leak. So I might have to do that off screen, although it's not drastic. So this one is the incoming flow code URL. Which is going to be response of URL to string potentially cloned. Okay. And then the same. Oh, I've redefined response here, which isn't great. In fact, why isn't that an error? Out URL, sure, about TX. All right, we'll give that a crack. And Just run it over here for a sec and see if anything looks weird about the URLs. Okay, client ID, sure. Sets a state, and it's using a different state for each one, which is good. The redirect URI is, oh, the redirect URI is wrong. It's just localhost. That'll be why. Okay, um, nice and easy. Definitely not correct. All right, so how are we setting the redirect URI? Using the client command, right? So let's go to client. Yeah, here we go. So we need to know for this one whether it's a bot or whether it's the bot or the broadcaster token that we're setting. So we need an additional piece of information in the client command, which is fine. Maybe a suffix, like a path. Path would be better. Path. String. And we will interpolate redirect URL. Yeah. So it's gonna be format. Something like that. And then that config, and then what are we talking? Path. So where is the client command? Oh, we can't create it until, oh, okay. Yeah, that's not ideal. Um, all right. We need to create the client before we get to that stage. So in the authorize URL, we're already manipulating various things. Is there a set? Does client have a set redirect URL method? Yes, it does. So here we go. Format. We want the current one, and then we want to add the path. It's a little clunky, but it'll work. So how do we go about getting the path? Can we go, I don't know if we're going to be able to use client within this. So we might want to set this up first. Let complete redirect URL equals client redirect URL. Oh, thanks very much for the follow, Ahmed Moloud. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. Part of this work is to set up a little notification that says when people are followed, but we're not there yet. Or we were there actually, but then I refactored and everything broke. It's just the way it goes. Um, okay, so client redirect URL. I don't even know if that's a thing actually. In fact, Rust Analyzer doesn't even want to tell me what the definition is. No worries, bro. Keep the good work. Thank you. I will try. I will try very hard. Um, client redirect URL. Um, I can't get it from there, but it looks things. Let's look at core client and see what definitions it has. Native clients must only register blah blah blah. Okay. I'm new to Rust dev coming from full stack background. Any advices? Yeah, so I imagine if you've been working in full stack, you might have been working with the likes of Node or maybe some Python or Go. Um, Maybe TypeScript, which would be good because the challenge is going to be writing a statically typed language, I would think. Um, so Rust definitely has its quirks, but it does have a very robust type system. So definitely getting used to that, being able to TypeScript and PHP. Yeah, I gotcha. I gotcha. Um, Definitely getting used to types that, unlike TypeScript, are not built at kind of transpiled time, but are a really core part of the language. Um, Having said that, TypeScript helps you prepare. I mean, it's got generics, it's got, um, it's got type restrictions and strict type checking if you have the right settings. But you'll have to get out of the habit of just being able to plug in any old JSON no matter where. But no, it's good. It's a good language to work with. I really enjoy it. I wish my job was Rust, but it isn't currently. It's more kind of Terraform and Go and Python and all those good things. Um, but yeah, unless you're a cryptocurrency expert, it seems Rust jobs are few and far between. Uh, but maybe that will change. It's definitely gaining in popularity. What am I working on? So we're trying to uh, build a Twitch bot essentially from scratch. So instead of using Streamlabs or whatever, um, so we have our pipeline of data that's flowing in from Twitch's Eventsub API, and we're going to store that in a real-time database and then have it notify our bot when things change so it can react to them. Things like, when people follow the channel or when people subscribe, that kind of stuff. Um, so yeah, essentially rewriting bits of Streamlabs, but in Rust and using a local server. So it was working quite nicely, but then I decided to refactor everything. So now we're here. Okay, so I need to know if there is a simple getter for client redirect URI. And for some reason, Rust Analyzer doesn't want to tell me. That can go. I don't need that right now. Yeah, so set redirect URI. Okay. Yeah, I can't do it there. I have to do it down here. Um, and it's not going to tell me client get, client redirect. No, there's no method for it. Okay. Well, I guess we're getting it from Redirect URL. Oh, we can just use redirect URL. We have that value still. Duh. Um, nice idea. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, it's doing it the hard way, but I think it'll be fun. And it's teaching me a lot about the language because I'm still learning about Rust too, and I'm still learning about how Twitch works and all that good stuff. So it's teaching me a lot. It's not always riveting viewing, but as we progress, I think it'll be more interesting to watch because there'll be a lot more interaction with the bot. Um, and then gradually I'll be able to get back to work on my game dev because I'm writing a game in Rust using Bivy game engine. But I had stopped to do this instead for a little while. Okay, so redirect URL, and then we've got this needs to now be path resp. There we go. So this becomes path, and then we can client set redirect URL complete redirect URL. To be honest, I'm happy doing that inline. You just started learning Rust this week. You think of rebuilding a mini version of Docker using Rust. Nice. That'd be an awesome project. Man, there's some complexity in there too. Yeah, that's really interesting. Yes, you're right, because I need to convert that to a string. Oh no, I probably need to convert it to a redirect URL. Yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah, we need a redirect URL. So a redirect URL, probably new. Wait, I see. Config redirect URL clone. Sure, that's fine. I'll follow you on Twitter and keep you updated. Nice work. Keep it up, bro. Sweet. I'll look forward to seeing what you come up with. Okay, so redirect URL is not a string currently. I don't suppose redirect URL implements an append. That would be convenient. Okay. So currently this is a redirect URL. So we might need it to be a string. Expected redirect URL. Sure. Found a result. Okay. I don't see any particular reason why we shouldn't just unwrap in this case. But we could also or IR. No, okay, or IR. No, it's not going to let me do that. Yeah, let's unwrap this. I see no reason for a statically set value not to succeed there. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. So, cool. So now we set the redirect URI correctly, and then we go back to here, kill that, and send a path. So for the incoming stuff, we need the broadcaster route. So that's going to be auth broadcaster. doesn't like that because it's wanting a string. That's fine. And for this one, yeah, I know. I'm trying to fix it. Just give me a sec, Rust Analyzer. Give me a sec. Give me just one of those little seconds. Auth bot. Okay. I think we're approaching something that might just work. Well, let's try it. So actually, every time we send one of these requests, we're changing the client redirect URL. But I don't think that's going to matter. Let's find out. Another quick reauthorize. Definitely not. Doesn't like the format. Oh, wait, what was I doing there? All right, so yeah, bad. Actually, we could have just done it in line. Don't know if I necessarily like that any better. But let's just see how it goes. Really? So is it in fact better to do it first? Nope, same problem. Huh. So what is the problem? Hmm. Expected standard borrow cow. That's such a great type name. What is a cow? Oh man, look at that. Redirect URL is cow. I I have no words. It's a cow. Okay. Rust, standard, borrow, cow. Clone on write. Cow is copy on write. Okay, which means it normally borrows, but if you need to edit, it transforms to an owned. Okay, cool. I just the type name stopped me in my tracks for a moment there, but I'm back now. Everything's fine. Oh boy. Okay. Um, Smart pointer providing clone on write functionality. It can enclose and provide immutable access to borrowed data and clone the data lazily when mutation or ownership is required. It's designed to work with general borrowed data via the borrow tree. Okay, so how do I actually use it? Here we go. Um, huh. Okay, but how do I send it into a function that expects it? Should I, in fact, pass the address? Or for that matter, why did the first call succeed? Let's look at how we defined that. I used redirect URL new, passed it the config value, and question mark for error. Um, oh yeah, okay. So there must be a way that I can send that. Should I just be sending the reference? The three advantages of a cow. You can read it normally, you can edit, and it'll implicitly become owned. And when providing data to an API, it lets some callers pass in borrowed and others pass in owned. Nice. But in this case, oh, I see. Try wrap. Well, at least it gave me the suggestion this time. Try wrapping the expression in standard borrowed cow borrowed. Okay, cool. So let's try doing that and see what the effect is. Rust Analyzer is being particularly slow this morning. Borrow of move to value, sure. Uh, deref coercion to standard string. I'm assuming I can't just do this because it doesn't implement display. I am correct. I might have to clone this, which feels clunky, but I might also have to stop doing everything in line. I'm going to use borrowed when it's a static string slice and owned otherwise. Okay, cool. It isn't a static string, so there's that. Let's just try owned and see what the difference is in effect. Sure. Okay. So let's go with, oh, it's, so the one we're calling into now is OpenID Connect .rs, but I mean -rs. Um, so the method we're looking at here is docs.rs, not Twitch API. And we're using set redirect URL, or URI in this case. Yes. Yeah, so cow redirect URL. But I'm probably trying to do things too much inline rather than setting everything up first, but should I be cloning this? I actually had the misapprehension that using toString was a clone, but perhaps that's a bad assumption on my part. Possibly you need to clone the value first before converting it to a string. Not even that. Okay, so let's try setting up first. So let RU, for want of a better phrase, redirect URL clone, and then RU toString. Yeah. Oh no, that's definitely not it. Oh man. ToString should never be passed as a format arg. It's part of the display trait. I see. I see. So how do I still need to append, okay, so I need to set that up um, before it gets there. But it's still concerned about the moved value. As string. Interesting. Definitely find the different ways to get values moderately confusing. But that's okay. We'll get there. I don't believe I've ever used Astro. Still concerned about the moved value. So I'm assuming this, yeah, moves here. I wonder, do I need to clone it there? Or do I still need to clone it and then use as string? Same problem. This does feel a little bit like try it and see development. Have to clone before move or borrow instead. Yeah. So what would happen if I did this and then um, okay. All right. So I do believe that that is what we're looking for, but it's quite the journey getting there, but that's all right. Thank you for your suggestions. Well, you may still be in ads. Thank you for your suggestions. I appreciate it. All right. So in theory, we should, this is good to know, Cal owned. I wonder if we should just import that maybe. Ah, it's okay. We'll figure it out in a bit. Okay, reauthorize. Definitely need a fingerprint reader. You don't need the ladder clone when using AirString. Ah, I thought it complained at me, but I may be wrong. Okay, invalid CSRF. All right, so that's That's good. That's progress in a way of a sort. Let's just test that theory. So you're saying I don't need the ladder clone. And you're right. Thank you very much. Cool. All right. Nice. I will add that to my repertoire. I haven't been using as string. Format always returns a string. Cool. Nice. Excellent. All right. So now we've got invalid CSRF. So client 117, which is okay. Yeah. So that's a problem because we can't know. Well, yeah, we need to store both CSRF basically. Um, yeah, because we're using two separate ones, unless we slightly cheat and use the same for both, but that's not good practice, so we'll try not to do that. So let's look at our IDC state. Yeah, so we're storing the CSRF and nonce sep. Yeah, so these we need two values, and we certainly need different values for access token and refresh token. In fact, it's tempting to store two of these, one for each, and have that extra level of division. So we would then go something like um, hmm, it's a bad name, but as a placeholder, maybe account actually. Account, user, account. Hmm, I'll think about it. And then that's going to give us pub broadcaster and bot. Okay, I think I'll probably also need defaults. Hey, Tersod, how you doing? It doesn't implement debug because of IDC account, of course. All right, so that's going to require a few changes, but it's still good. Um, I wonder if we're going to need to identify, we need to be able to tell the client which state to use. Uh, so that's okay. It's nice and easy. There's only ever going to be two states. Firefox muted the tab. That's absolutely fine. Um, you weren't missing that much. Wolverine, I'm sorry, I'm going to try and pronounce this correctly. Wolveriness. There we go. I hope has been educating me in the finer points of string management and cow. I did not know about cow, but there's cow. Cows are important. Um, okay, so now we're going to be setting state depending on what kind of, on where we are in the flow, essentially. And I can't anticipate ever having more than two different tokens for this application. So I'm not going to try and overthink it and create another abstraction. I'm just going to bulldoze on through. So we're creating a client and our state. Yeah, here we go. So we lock the state and then we're setting auth URL, but of course now we're going to have to set either the bot or the broadcaster value. So yeah, I need to think about how I'm going to do that. The simplest is just to send a string, and that's possibly where we're going to start. So if I look at the authorize URL request, that's got a path. We could do it by the path. I have no particular problem with that. It's a little ugly, but why not? Um, let's see here. So that's the state handle. Otherwise, I think it's called a guard, right? So then we're going to need most of, let's just assume we've got the broadcaster to start with. So let account equals S broadcaster account. If path is or bot. This is something I would never do in a larger application, but it's going to work fine here, I think. That needs to be mutable. Potentially mute reference, but let's go here first. Then account equals S bot account. This doesn't feel good, but let's see how it goes. And then this becomes account auth URL. Okay, how bad is this? Where are the errors? No errors? Okay. Yeah. All right. Cool. That means in the consuming code, oh, hang on, let's fix this block as well while we're at it. So same issue, let mute account equals S and S broadcaster account. If now we're also going to need some kind of identifier here. Are there any other ways that we can tell that this is a bot versus a broadcaster request? I don't think there are. So we're going to need something in exchange code that tells us this. It's not going to be path, so Boolean doesn't have to be complicated. I just read the thing about cow. I really thought I was mishearing it. Yeah. It's a great name. I love that there's a type called cow. I had not heard of it before. Okay, so code CSRF and essentially either is broadcaster or a string that determines either one. Or to be honest, an enum, which would also be fine. In fact, maybe we'll just do that throughout. Uh, Account type. Uh, and then you could even put the whole thing in a hash map keyed by account type, but I'm not going to do that because it's overkill. So something like that. Yeet yeet equals new yeet. Yeah, I saw a piece of code the other day that had yeet in it. Oh, it was actually at work, so no, we won't go there. That was like something like yeet token or yeet file. Uh, I struggle with my work's naming practices. Okay, I wonder if you end up with like a type for horns, the horns of the cow, the tail of the cow. Do yeet, it's like throw. Um, okay, so account type. So we essentially are going to do something horrible, and don't judge me, but it's effectively going to be let account equals match account type. Broadcaster and S broadcaster account. I know I'm going to look back on this and laugh, but at the moment, it makes enough sense to get the job done. All right, account type, all's fair in love and tokens. It's like throw. No, seriously, that's what it is in Nightly. Okay, nice. I hope it makes it. I think I'm in Nightly right now. Oh my goodness. That's awesome. Uh, Pub Strike Yeet. Pub T. Try Trade V2 Yeet. Oh, that made my day. That's a wonderful type name. Cow and Yeet. I learned things today. I really did. Okay. Um, right, so now we've got now we've got account. Funny thing is I started with a structure like this and I changed it several weeks ago. Well, a week ago. Sure, that's fair. So it needs to be a mutable reference, surely. Why didn't the previous use of this flag that error? Or did it and I just missed it? Broadcaster is named the same as one of the variants of the type. Oh yeah, duh. I wish the autocomplete would make up its mind whether it wants to replace the thing or not. Okay. So why didn't the previous one come? Oh, it did. Yeah, Rust Analyzer took a while to catch up. I'm sure we could extract this to a function and do other groovy things, but let's get it working first. Nobody wants to see me refactor. Well, maybe everyone wants to see me refactor. Why don't you refactor that shit? I refuse. Don't repeat yourself is only useful for values greater than 3. Okay, now, have we achieved some sort of usefulness? State CSRF doesn't exist. So again, we almost need like an account type sensitive value. But again, we've got this issue. So this actually needs to be the account. No, because we have to lock it. And the reason this is separated is because it's a non-async function. So it avoids that whole lock issue. So I still need it to be state. I need to repeat the whole laborious logic. By passing the account type, probably, because I can't see a way around that. I can't lock in the async function. I have to lock here. Okay, so CSRF string and account type. Let's prove that it works, and we'll think about making it pretty. Um, if I had Copilot enabled right now, it would be trying to autocomplete this for me. The only time I actually miss it a little bit. But yes, definitely this needs some refactoring. You think? Okay. Oh, I'm importing Yeet and I don't need it, damn it. I really want it, but I don't need it. Try Yeet. Okay. Now then, let's see here. What else do we need to change? We need to change the way that those states are set up. So that means going back to main and changing. Actually, we might not need to change much because OIDC state is still the same type name. Yeah, we're actually okay there. But in the consuming code, we are going to need to change things. So Eventsub, yeah, uh, state, state updated, notified. Access token, get token state. Yeah, this is going to need to change. Here we go. Now, we already know which one we need, which is convenient because we're in the, no, we're not. We're trying to be generic and shit. I have to lock and unwrap in the non-async function again. So I have to repeat the dance. Oh, it's laborious, I tell you. Account type. Some of this repetition is actually quite useful in terms of really ingraining the little patterns and eccentricities of the language, I think. Um, I'm just creating a clone. Okay, so, and S bot account. I mean, you could just, I suppose, doesn't seem to be any reason to have an intermediate step. Really? Uh, that's an option access token. Oh, right. I was going to say, that was confusing. There we go. All right, cool. And in Eventsub, we are able to use get token, and we know for a fact that we are account type broadcaster. Oh, wait. This one. There we go. Okay, good. So that gets us the right token, and we haven't even touched on refresh token logic yet. So now we've got issues up here. So authorize URL path, that needs to become account type. At least it's slightly self-documenting, which is nice. So this is incoming, so it's broadcaster. Outgoing is account type bot. All right. We are getting somewhere, I think. How close are we to actually working? A couple errors, which I'll get to. I'm just checking a message. One moment, caller. Right. Just realized I haven't had coffee this morning. What the hell? What's going on? Might have to have another cup of tea instead. No wonder I'm feeling a bit off. Okay. Now, we have an error to work with. Missing account type. Yes, you're right. And that is in server. Yes. Okay, so we are in OITC handler. Oh, now. This is where I thought I was going to get away with having the same handler for both. And I could, but there's a point of difference now. I could put it into the state. I could make the state in enum, possibly. And then the query becomes account type. And then the state becomes this. And hopefully that's not a giant error. Oh boy. Now it's not a handler anymore. I've had this problem before. It wasn't pretty. Let me just complete this and then we'll see. Okay, so that works, but passing the enum does not work to with state. What if it was a struct? just out of curiosity. And then this becomes uh, a foo. BotTX. Oh, it needs to be clonable. Where was I? Server, right? Okay. Yep, I know that. But let me just get all the way there and we'll check and see how bad this is. Broadcaster TX. And if none of this works, then we'll go back to square one. um, the state is going to be a foo. And it's going to be a, wait a sec. Don't tell me that actually works. Uh, it really does. Oh my God. Okay. All right. So you have to wrap it in a struct, basically. Wonder if there's anything else you can send. Uh, maybe like a vector or something. But anyway, this works. What are we going to call this? This is handler state. So OIDC handler state. And we can just call this state. Okay. It actually looks like it might run. Oh my goodness. All right, let's try again. Okay, I'm redirecting, but it's invalid CSRF still, and it's giving me that pop-up warning. Damn. Well, we're progressing, I hope. Okay, so invalid CSRF, that's fine. Um, I also think we're still not sending the correct URLs. So I am going to check that using this function right here. So look at what happened with, oh, the correct URL got sent to Firefox, so that's good. Just not to Google Chrome. At least I didn't think so. Let me see that again. It's still going to the Twitch redirect pop-up. And then it's going to authbot, which is completely wrong. Okay. Um, what have I got wrong here? The path is auth broadcaster. The account type is auth broadcaster. So let's go back to client and see what we might be mucking up. I've probably got something backwards. Whoa, that wasn't what I meant. With this, and I want to go here. Channel read descriptions. Actually, that should be up here. Huh. Okay. So authorize URL, account type, path, response. Sorry, I'm slightly distracted. My partner's messaging me, and apparently there's the possibility that I might get a coffee. So this is pretty important stuff we're talking about here. Um, all right, so is it possible that I'm getting the wrong? Is it possible that I'm getting the wrong thing set in the wrong place? Because it looks like the one that is opening in Google Chrome is set to the redirect URL of bot, which is wrong, auth bot. In fact, they're both doing it. Juggling two tokens at once. Fun stuff. Okay, let's think about this. Authorization code. I wonder if I need to set redirect URI beforehand. I wonder if it's like order sensitive. That would kind of make sense, right? Oh no. So after all that, you don't you don't need it until, oh man. So all that thing about cow wasn't necessary if I just put it in the right place. Oh well, I learned something, so that's fine. Now the client's moved. Damn it. It's almost tempting to suggest that you should create the client separately for each request, but that seems like a lot. Hmm. I don't know if the client's designed to be cloned here. Let's look at the documentation for set redirect URI and see if overwrites the redirect URL to the one specified. I'm just wondering why it's different if you put it in a different place. Because it doesn't seem to have overridden the URL at all. But if I do it here, we don't have a problem. Um, but also we're getting the wrong URL. Why don't we check to make sure that we are actually using the correct path? Um, so println using for account type. And then uh, path account type. Oh yeah, we were going to implement debug for that, weren't we? All right, let's just see what opens up. Auth broadcaster for account type broadcaster, auth bot for account type bot. That certainly seems right. And yet, when I look at what window it opened this URL. So it opened a Twitch auth redirect, response type code, client ID, blah, blah, blah. Don't care about that. redirect URI, localhost auth broadcaster. Oh, so it did get it right. Scope, OpenID, channel, blah, 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 moderation, moderator, blah, blah. Did I see state in there? Because if I didn't, that's why the CSRF is wrong. Nope. Okay, so there's no state. All right, well, that's not good. Yeah, that would explain the CSRF error. Why is it still popping up a redirect notice? It's not doing that in Firefox. And yet it was until I fixed a few things. I wonder if that's it. Maybe there's just no state. Okay. CSRF token new random, nonce new random. Wonder if set redirect URI is accidentally overwriting the state. Oh, I think I see. Yeah, it would need to have the token in it. So doing it this way, yeah, I got you. Doing it this way is effectively erasing the CSRF. So why isn't the same problem occurring in Firefox? In Firefox, let's look at our URL. I think I'm just leaking a client ID, which is fine. Don't care. Authbot, code, blah, 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 blah. Scope. That's got a state on it. But no nonce. Oh yeah, because we've already moved. Ooh, confusing. Why does it have a state and the other one doesn't? Hmm. For that matter, why does it have a redirect URI? Why does it have a Twitch redirect? You are leaving Twitch. What happens if I open them both in Firefox? Or even a third browser? Hmm. How do I do this? Why? Let's look up any issues relating to set redirect URI. Nothing. Hmm. I don't know what to do about that. What about just redirect URI? Nope. What about in Twitch auth? Oh, wrong crate. Without affecting client state, yes. You have to get ref clone. Okay, so they have this is as a result of it's as a result of the same problem, essentially. Hmm. What happens if I move it after the add scope? I mean, before the add scopes. All right, but I don't think that's going to fix the problem. Still asking for a redirect. And then we end up, oh, we do have a state on this one. Redirect URI does not match registered URI. Yeah. And it's going to auth bot. Damn it. Hang on. Rerun that because I swear, is it just a lottery whether it ends up with the right one? Client ID, redirect URI, localized auth broadcaster. What the hell? I'm missing something. I don't know what I'm missing, but it's something. um, that is not correct. Okay, so it's the redirect URI is being set correctly, but it's not ending up in the right place. Must be in server. Oh, this is confusing. Auth bot, account type bot, bot transmitter, auth broadcaster, account type broadcaster. Sure. All of that looks correct. That's not a problem, I don't think. Then we go exchange code and we send the CSRF that we received using the account type. All right, so maybe the problem is in exchange code. We're going to find it. We're going to find it. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Yeah, there's all of that. Um, Bot account, broadcaster account. The nonce is not missing. Where's my CSRF check? Here. Bot account, broadcaster account. Account CSRF cloned. Check the CSRF. I mean, we could just output here. But why is it redirecting to that route? Why? Why? So we start with the correct redirect URI, but when it comes back, it redirects us to bot instead of broadcaster. So weird. It's possible the route didn't match. Let's go with, just to make sure that I'm not missing a CSRF or something. No, actually, I want to know how many times this route is getting hit. I wonder if registering the same handler to two different routes is just not supported. You know what? Let's break that out because maybe that's the problem. Let's go bot handler. Axon might be doing something under this behind the scenes that I don't know about. Broadcaster handler. I don't need that anymore. I don't need that. I don't need that. All of that. And then this gets duplicated. And we don't care that it's duplicated. This becomes MPSC sender OIDC authenticate response. Is that correct? OIDC client command. And then this becomes account type broadcaster. And this is just TX. All right. Copy this block. And this is bot handler. And 18, oh, this goes away. And this is account type bot. And yes, there's a lot of duplication, and no, we don't care. All right. Now, that probably means we can get rid of 36. And it should let us know, well, it should rule out any issues with reusing the thing. And also we'll be able to output some debugging. Bot handler. Okay. Let's try that on for size. Okay, so broadcaster handler didn't get hit. In fact, the bot handler got hit and the CSRF check failed. So let's go to client. And that was in response to this, I'll betcha. Because if I look, I don't think we're even getting to, I don't think we're even getting to the bot handler yet. So let's really dissect this URL. I don't think I'm leaking anything too serious here. Especially to my audience of one. Thank you, Lurker. Okay, so we've got Twitch auth2 authorize. Response type code. Client ID we'll get rid of. State. That's our CSRF token. Redirect URI. Localhost 3000 auth broadcaster. Scope OpenID. Blah blah blah. All of those are scopes, and then a nonce at the end. So that looks like a well-formed URL. Why on earth would it get sent to the bot URL? Have I not correctly updated the account in developers? Let me do that off screen, make sure that I'm not wrong. Localhost 3000 auth broadcaster. Let's go back to the dashboard and then go to the application. Auth broadcaster. The only other thing I can think of is that I'm creating, oh, I know what it is. I'm creating the client with the wrong ID, so I must be. All right, let's go down that route. Good. That gives us something to work on. I was starting to get a little bit worried there. Okay. So if I'm creating the account with the wrong IDs, where am I doing that? In main, right? So we've got spawn OIDC client with config, state, and notify in the channel. And then we spawn the event sub. So it's got to be here. And all that is Tokyo spawn, async move, config, state, notify. Oh, so there's no way of determining which IDs we're going to be using for the client. That's what's going on here. Okay. So yeah, bot ID right there. Bingo. All right. Phew. Okay. So we need to send a way for it to determine which ID to use. Huh. If we do that, we could even send separate, yeah, we can just send separate configs for each one. Then we can probably stop cloning half the shit. And the redirect URL will be correct in each case, which would be so much easier. and stop messing around with account type. We still need it for state, I think, unless we just use separate instances of that as well. Except, are there going to be times? Let's think about this. Oh boy. Yeah, that is a better design, I think. The other thing is to write them as two completely separate applications. So have the bot and the sort of Eventsub harvester running in two separate processes. Hmm. Let's proceed down having them in a single process for now and just use Tokyo to juggle the threads. Okay, so instead of in main, we're going to use different states. So I can back out of all that stuff that I just did. And we'll end up doing different states. So let's figure this out. We've got the config, but we could actually use two separate configs or have a separate type for configuring the client. Rather than this type, which is fine for extracting all the values, but then we really only need different things for different reasons, yeah. Hmm. Okay. So let's come up with a abstract OIDC client config, which needs client ID. Wait a minute, don't I already have a type like this? I'm reasonably certain I have a type. Oh no, that's the event sub. Okay. Uh, client ID is string. It's not an option string. Client secret is string. Um, and what else we're going to need? Authorize URL, redirect URL. Also a string. Okay, these are all pub. And we can have derive clone debug. All right. Ooh, sounds like I am getting a coffee. That's exciting. Okay, so let's assume in client that we're getting past, oh, I'm already in client, that we're getting past one of those. So let's take away config and see how many, well, keep it, but it's going to be an arc OIDC config, client config. And then we'll be able to narrow down how many times we use config and what we need to change. So config client ID, config client secret. Right, there's no need to, it's not going to be missing. So we can get rid of that. That makes things much simpler. Issue a URL. Yeah, we can. I don't think that's ever going to change. I'm reasonably comfortable with it being hard coded, to be honest with you. The odds of that changing long term are next to nothing for our purposes. So we're just going to make that. No, no, no. Damn it, now I've forgotten what it was. It's in register 1. There we go. Redirect URL is new config. Yeah, so we're going to need a redirect URL, which we've got. Clone. Oh, my coffee's arriving. That's very exciting. Okay. And issue a URL, blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay. So I'm going to pause briefly and say hi to my partner and drink some coffee, and I'll be back. All right, we have coffee on board. It's pretty exciting. Okay, so we were working our way through here, trying to change to a different config object. So let's go and do that. Uh, right, and the client ID is no longer a secret. And that's fine too. Since there's no indication that any of these things are likely to get printed. Oh, Rust Analyzer timing out, always a good sign. Okay, what's next? Oh, really? Is that it? Okay, so back in main, our client needs a different kind of config. Uh, so instead of this, it's going to be inc client config equals OIDC client config. And what do we need? We need, oh, right. Okay. What are we missing? We're missing client ID is config client ID. Actually, in this case, it's going to be config incoming. So broadcaster application ID and probably client secret config broadcaster application secret and redirect URI. We will just hard code. So it's going to be HTTP localhost 3000 or broadcaster. Two-string. How are we doing here? Oh, right. Yep. So in this case, I happen to know that they're entirely set. Still a problem? Sure. Might not need the clone in that case. Except that I do. Okay, same deal. Right. Because it's already in the arc. Which it doesn't really need to be. Yet. It will need to be. At least, maybe. Yeah, so pause for slurp of coffee. And then this becomes, whoops, not all that. This. Client config, bot ID, bot secret, and or bot. Not an unwrap. I guess it's not an option. Oh, I see. No, I don't. What am I missing? Found expected string, found option secret, but I'm unwrapping it. What is it possible that Rust Analyzer has finally died? Let's try that again. Wait for fans to spin up. Yeah, I know they're incorrect. I will fix that. Because it needs to be in an arc, but what is going on here? Also, turn those hints off because they're very annoying. Expected struct standard string found option config secret. But I've unwrapped it. But I haven't unwrapped it. Expected identifier found dot. What is. Oh, I'm an idiot. Wow, that was bad. Okay, cool. So we've changed that. And then the config is going to be our client config. Which it doesn't like because it's waiting for an arc, right? Which we still need to do. So let's do arc new. And then the same thing here. So I still haven't changed that, huh? Right. Definitely needs a lot more refactoring, but at least we are making progress. I'll take progress any day. Oh, should I turn? Oh, I can leave the camera off for a while. Oh, maybe I'll turn the camera back on. Good practice. There we go. Me and all my non-green screen glory. Okay, now that means we need a version of the other config, unless we can figure out which bits of it we actually need, because it probably isn't that much. If we look at 34, for example, what do we really need from config? We need the channel ID. And, oh, is that it? Oh, this is a different config. Oh, well, that's not great. So we're shadowing that name, which is bad. Okay, but then what else do we use config for? Channel ID, channel ID, channel ID. That's it. Okay, so I doubt that we need a full config object for that. Let's take that out of the equation, and we're using state, that's fine. Let's just pass the channel ID. And then oh, but maybe we should pass it to the WebSocket client struct. Yeah, okay, so pub channel ID. Wait, what's the user ID? Channel ID, so we're fine. We've already got it. Okay, so let's let's move those around. STU, yep, cool. And then find any errors. So channel ID, self user ID. And yep, behind a mutable reference, doesn't implement the copy trait. All right. string, as we learned earlier. Okay, so I might not need the string. Seems happy. All right. Okay. So that kind of seems like that's all we need. We don't need config. And if we go back to main, instead of passing the config, we can just pass the channel ID. So config channel ID, maybe secret. Oh, I can't remember. Oh yeah, unwrap. Okay. And I really don't know what I'm going to need for the listener. Um, so in the meantime, let's remove that altogether and take that out. Stop doing that. Same deal here. Okay, we must be getting close to another trial. Okay, channel ID, right. We don't need that. Don't even know if we need that. Doesn't look like we do. All right, we must be getting close. Let's try it again. One password wants it again. Let's see what URLs we're getting redirected to. Oh wait, I think that might just indicate a degree of success. No, redirect mismatch, so damn. I need to set that so that it's off screen. Route hat broadcaster handler. Well, that's a start. That's a start. um, we weren't doing that before. Two tokens, man. It's tricky, tricky stuff. Um, okay, so we're still passing a config to the server, the IDC server, right? spawn OIDC client, out client config, and then auth doesn't take the config, and neither does the server. Okay. Let's run that one more time. I'll set this output window so that I'm not spamming things. We never even got to the bot route because we failed at the client route stage. At the wait, why didn't we get to the bot route? Is it still waiting for a redirect? Yes, yes it is. Let's see. Okay, we got to the bot handler, and there's no error description. Parameter redirect URI does not match registered. Damn it. It definitely redirected to auth bot, but yeah, actually, now that you mention it, I think I know what's going on there. We still need to fix all the OIDC state stuff. That's okay. We can do that. Let's go back to client. OIDC state. And we're going to take this out. So we'll go back to this situation here. And that's going to cause all sorts of errors, but that's fine. We can fix them. Fortunately, undoing should be faster than doing. Access token hash should be fine. S and R is what? Oh, okay, that was set further up. Okay, now CSRF. That's wrong. That is better. And that changes to that. This goes away. And this goes away. That goes away, that goes away, and that goes away. Okay, now in server, we change this, 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 and actually, there's probably no reason to use separate routes anymore. But we'll keep doing it until we rule out any other issues. Okay, so that's that sorted out. Then any other mention of account type? Yes. So this is wrong, and that's wrong. This is no longer necessary, and we should just be able to return state block unwrap access token clone. And then in get tokens calling invocation we can get rid of that. Beautiful. Any other mentions of count type? Nope. What about account type? Right, so that goes away. Thank goodness, that was making me annoyed. Okay. So yeah, that doesn't exist anymore. Does that help? Does that help? See if we've got any more errors on run. Okay, we still have a redirect mismatch error, but at least we're being redirected to auth broadcaster. It's possible localhost 3000 auth broadcaster does not match registered. Have I spelled it wrong? Apparently not. At least it sent the state back with me. I assume the same thing will be true in Firefox. Auth bot error redirect mismatch description parameter redirect URI does not match registered. Yep. Okay. But it does, you know. It does. Is it possible that I'm still using the wrong IDs for the wrong client? Let's go through and check that state because I may be sharing them inadvertently. I bet that's what it is. Go to main and our IDC state. Yeah, I bet you we are. So we need separate states for each one. IDC state default, that's correct. So now we need IDC. Oh no, we're using different ones. Damn, that was a good shot. All right, broadcaster application ID, broadcaster application secret. Just off screen, I'm going to compare to see if at least we hit both rounds. That was good. I'm just going to compare to see if maybe I've inadvertently set the environment variables to the same thing or something stupid like that. So echo bot, eloquent robot ID. Okay, echo broadcaster application ID. No, those are different. We'll just check the secrets to be sure. Uh, yes, that's correct. All right, good. So, any chance that I've put the correct token into the wrong one password thing? So that's the username. No, those are different. What's the secret? Starts with that. And no, those are totally different. All right, so we've ruled out the secrets should be set correctly. So that's good. Um, and I think we've confirmed in Twitch developers HTTP localhost 3000 auth broadcaster. That is correct. And if we go to dashboard and go back to it just to make sure it was saved, and it is. Must exactly match the redirect URI parameter passed to the authorization endpoint. Is it possible it doesn't support paths when attached to a local host? That would be really strange. Okay, the other thing we can do is check authbot, that's for outgoing, auth broadcaster, that's for incoming. And we know that we're getting both routes hit. Broadcaster application ID, broadcaster application secret, bot ID, bot secret. All right, let's check the config file, make absolutely certain we're using the right environment variables for the right things. Broadcaster application ID, secret, eloquent robot ID, eloquent robot secret. Those are all correct. Another sip of coffee required. Okay, now, what else haven't I checked? Could I be using the wrong client? Wait, how does it know which client to send the request to? Presumably that's the last piece of the puzzle, right? Because the server, how does the server know which client to send the request off to? It knows because I send it the right channel. So let's check and make sure that I'm sending the right channels. Inc tx server out tx server out tx auth clone inc tx auth clone. Could I be reversing these in the server somehow? Let's go to init. Ah, yep. There you go. They're backwards. And it's because I alphabetized them. Incoming tx. Man, that was hard to track down. Outgoing tx. Outgoing tx. Incoming tx. No wonder they didn't match. Outgoing, incoming, the paths are correct. All right, let's have another crack at this. Okay, both of those. Oh, no, we still got redirect mismatch. Damn, I thought I'd fixed it. I was so sure. I was so sure. So thinking about this, we still are calling send OIDC client command. It must still be going to the wrong one. Um, Out is definitely the bot. In is definitely the broadcaster. In is definitely first. Out is definitely second. Go to main. Incoming first, then outgoing. Channel returns transmit, then receive, right? Sender, receive it, yeah. And then we clone it. But we still get redirect mismatch. So this should point to, oh, what if the client doesn't have the right, what if the client doesn't have the right end of that? We could still be sending to the wrong client. Out client is getting out RX. In client is getting in RX. I don't know, that sounds right. Ugh. What about the notify? Maybe the note, no, that's labeled correctly as well. Unless we're cloning the notify. It's a new notify. Where's out notify? That's a new notify as well. I thought I'd solved it. I thought for sure I'd solved it. Just spawn the event sub listener and have it manage its own client. I think that's probably a good idea. But I just want to make sure that this actually works. Is there some kind of shared state that I'm missing? There must be, but where? It's probably somewhere in client. It's probably still a bot ID. It's one in chat, but that's commented out. Coffee, lend me your power. There's no bot ID floating around still. I was 100% certain I'd solved that. Is there any chance I'm mixing it up in the request. So that starts at OIDC auth, which is where? This one. Incoming, outgoing. This is my last chance for maybe having mixed it up. I really hope it is. Damn, incoming, outgoing. Incoming is broadcaster. Outgoing is not broadcaster. Open some Firefox, open some Google Chrome Stable. And the path. So the only other thing I can think of is that the URL is somehow malformed. So let's try and prove that. What's the problem here? Useless conversion. Thanks for telling me. All right, let's see if it's being set wrong. So redirect URL as string and path. Let's try outputting this. Any problem with borrows there? Apparently not. Okay, let's try a run with that just to see if we can see anything really obvious that might be causing errors. Oh my God, I'm an idiot. Okay, well, debug to the rescue. Wow, that's pretty bad. We don't need to set the redirect anymore because we're already doing it. Oh man. Okay. Now it's authorizing me. Thank goodness. Let's just check. Firefox is correct. Yep. Okay, so in theory, hey, that right there, that's the good stuff. You can't see it. Hmm. Oh, I see. It's appeared down the bottom. Huh. All right. Wow. That was annoying. And now we don't need path. 29. And then we can get rid of anything that uses the path. All right. Wow. Okay. Refactor. No, it's more like implement dual tokens. 2 tokens, no waiting. Oh, that was painful. At some point, I'll probably just for my own satisfaction refactor things so that we don't have this kind of nonsense in main when we're just specifying config after config after config. You can hide a lot of this complexity inside the Eventsub listener, I think. They can request its own token, and the server can handle the response, I hope. The only sticking point to that might be the notify, but it's not too bad. All right. So now supabase. We need to be taking tokens. We need to be taking notifications in the Eventsub and writing them to supabase, or at least caching them in supabase, and then have it notify the bot when each one gets written. Man, it's cold today. All right. Good. That only took about 3 hours to solve. Um, yeah. So in theory, it would be quite good if we could test. Maybe we should test move all the Helix client stuff to the other side, to the outgoing side, and then that way we don't need to worry about it in the Eventsub listener. I don't think there's going to be a need for me to. Is there going to be a need for me to send stuff using? If there's ever a need for me to use my own account to take action on something, then I'll deal with that when I deal with that. But for the meantime, we shouldn't need a Helix client. So where is the Helix client? Right there. Okay, so we'll strip that out. Maybe we'll just save all of this. Um, and move it to store. Maybe not store, maybe outgoing or bot. We're going to need something new. At the moment, we're using that. We're using store, but I don't think that's going to be the way it stays. So let's move this to outgoing, I guess. Seems a bit simplistic, but let's try it for a while. And then it's not going to be a listener, it's going to be a sender. Then a main. Store becomes outgoing. And here, yeah, something like that. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Now, let's think about how we're going to. Maybe I should actually attempt to send something from the sender, just so that I know that that side of it works. So in client, sorry, in Eventsub, it's a Helix client, static request client. Uh, so in this case, we go to outgoing. We're probably going to want something like a obstruct chat sender, I suppose. Client is a Helix client. Static what? Was that just the lifetime? Yeah, static and request client. Okay. Yeah. Any other derives it's going to need, I wonder. Doesn't seem to. So we give it a session ID. What does the session ID do? The welcome message. Yeah, I don't need that. But we will need a token, I do believe. Right, we need the token to post things with. So which is a user token, which is from Twitch Alt 2. All right. So does that mean that that one doesn't need it anymore? Yeah, this can go. So we've removed all of that. Probably just put a little, get rid of all of these client sends. and then get rid of the token because we don't need to store it anymore. At least not in this. Oh, it's nice to know if it's expired, I suppose. Oh no, we still need it for oh, we need the client for creating subscriptions. Damn. All right. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Yep. All right. So Helix client, static request client. Default client and STU. Correct. All right. Um, that's good. How about the connect URL? Twitch Eventsub WebSocket URL. Okay. Various unused variables. Which we can comment out for now. We no longer need send chat message. And that's all for that file. Okay, so in here, we need the user token. We need, yep. And then we'll create that by going let sender equals chat sender client, Helix client default. So we've got separate clients for incoming and outgoing, that's fine. Token is a, where are we populating token from? Eventsub. I should call this incoming just to match with outgoing. In fact, maybe I will. Just a whole tool about architecture, such as such as it is. Um, Now, we need to find out how this token gets set. So the token is user token from token. Right, so we actually make a request to get it. Which might be doubling up, so that's okay. And access token is what in this context? Oh, that's right, we've got a block until we know that the token is available to us. There we go. All right. Client and token are never read. Yes, but they're about to be. Okay. And then I imagine we'll just add an implementation for sending chat, effectively. So down here, I wonder if we just have it listen to, no, we'll just have it listen to supabase. That should be fine. Okay, so we need an implementation. And then we're going to want I guess for async fn send chat, for want of a better name. I don't know what the message is likely to be, whether it's just going to be a string, but we'll start there. And we'll return a result. I don't know. Something of that order. Oh, okay. I report, you say. Uh, huh. Let's see why I shouldn't do this. Oh, that's interesting. Mute cell. Why can't I return an error? Oh, I see. Okay. All right. So now I ought to be able to do something like this. Um, in here. So really, that couldn't interpret it for me. What about this? There you go. We don't care about the gift. We don't care about any of this actually. Broadcaster user ID. We do need to know that. I'm wondering if we just set it. And then
set it here in the absence of needing any particular config. Um, in a main, outgoing, broadcaster, hang on, essentially config, broadcaster, no, channel ID, which is going to need to be cloned, I'm quite certain. Right, no doubt cloned. Config channel ID has type standard option, blah, 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 which does not implement copy. Why can't I just clone and unwrap it? Tell me that. Can I do this? Variable move due to use in coroutine. All right, so we have to clone the entire config basically in order to make that work. Ugh, pain, pain. Let's just check it to make sure. Nope, same problem. Yes, because we're using options. Oh, config is painful. What is the magic solution? I just want to copy the whole thing and move it everywhere. Is it because it's got options in it? Uh, config as ref or no? Did it mean the string as ref? This will be funny. No. Okay. Um, this is painful, and I feel like I need an overall solution. Hey, Crosgen, how you doing? I'm sitting here struggling with config variables. It's a fun time. But hey, look, there's your chat. It's progress of a sort. I'm doing good. I have been working on trying to get two tokens
authorized at the same time, so that one can be used for the more powerful stuff that requires the broadcaster permissions, and one can be used for the less powerful stuff like sending to chat. And it's kind of working, but just this juggling config in Rust is proving to be difficult. Yeah, absolutely. Break the chat. uh, just do it. Um, yeah, super annoying. It's like every time I want to use a string from the values in the config, I have to perform some magic in order to make it work. And I'm sure there is idiomatic Rust that makes this easier, but I don't know what it is yet. I like how some emojis translate properly, but not not the Twitch ones. The Twitch ones will require me to read the response and get the little images out, but I'm not doing that yet. It's just plain text, so I think it works with all of the normal ones. Oh no, it doesn't even do that. Anything Unicode, it'll probably work, I think is the trick. Cool. Got dogs being fed in the background. Yeah, there you go. I think probably what will happen is anything that um, is in my font locally in the system will work. So, for example, if I look at why are you not going to my config? There we go. If I look at one of these, for example, like a lightning bolt, pretty sure that'll come through because it's in my font, which I think from memory is something like Noto Sans comic, something or other, icon font. Um, yeah, so it's pretty broken still. But now I need to know how to get simple strings out of the config without doing deep magics. I'm sharing it between two async tasks, and that's what's causing the problem. That's also causing a problem. Consider calling asref or asmute to borrow the type's contents. What if I do this? Does that get me there? Okay, that gets me there on that one. Get rid of that, and then config, channel ID, clone. So, hey, your toad still worked. So I'm setting up basically the future. So I'm trying to make more interaction possible. So there's a whole bunch of uh, discard. Sure, why not? Um, there's a whole bunch of flow coming in from Twitch using Eventsub, and that's going to get stored in a real-time database. And then the database will notify the bot anytime it changed a table that the bot needs to know about, and then the bot will potentially interact with Twitch by sending messages to chat. This token is a powerful one because it needs to be able to read things that only I have access to, like subscriber data. And this one is a weak token because it just belongs to the robot, which is a ordinary account that has moderator set on it.
And yeah, essentially it's Streamlabs. I'm setting up Streamlabs is what's happened, except without Streamlabs. Essentially, yeah. Um, but it's also going to collect a whole bunch of information in the database so that I can feed it to the overlay when I eventually write it. So that'll be in Bevy, and it'll be able to, get follow notifications, and if users send commands, it'll be able to respond to the commands and do all that kind of stuff. So I'm doing the initial work for all of that, but it's not terribly interesting watching, especially since I'm using it also to reinforce some of my Rust knowledge, which obviously is lacking. I know. Yeah, I know I can do it with StreamerBot, but the whole point is to make everything homegrown. But I appreciate the tip. So everything has to be cloned, basically. And now I'm sure that I've got a problem. Yep. Okay, so let's get rid of that. And hopefully cloning will fix my woes. I really hope. Because otherwise I don't know what to do. Damn, it doesn't. Yep. Which has option standard string, which does not implement the copy trait. Okay. Channel ID clone. So is it that, I wonder if it's that, okay, let incoming channel ID, it feels ridiculous that I have to do this, equals config channel ID clone unwrap. And then channel ID. Okay, so that works, but I'm quite certain that if I try to use it down here, it'll break. So I assume that I need to clone that value. Uh, nope, that doesn't help. Okay, so we've basically just shuffled the problem around by doing that. Right, it still doesn't implement the copy trait. So what if I do the address, which does implement the copy trait? Temporary value dropped while borrowed. Creates temporary value which is freed while still in use. Oh, borrow checker, you kill me sometimes. Argument requires the borrow lasts for static. Okay, so I can't just use an string. Essentially, I just feel like this should be an easy way to do this that I'm not understanding. Yeah. Oh boy. Okay. I think the solution really is to move all this into their own handlers rather than try and do them in the same file. Um, all right. So that is the theory, huh? It's pretty sad, but it works. Okay, so now back in outgoing, I ought to be able to respond using the broadcaster ID. Uh, yeah, which we will create here, possibly cloning it or two-stringing it. Yeah, that is not a thing because we're going to use this value twice. Right, we don't know anything about that yet, so we're just going to send the message. And that's it. All right. Unused variable. Yes, you're right, because I'm about to use it. Sender. Send chat. And then this uses the robotic token. Do I need to await that? I do, right? Okay. How many possible ways could that be broken? Probably many, many ways. Many, many ways. Okay. All right. 401. Call. The ID and sender ID must match the user ID found in the request auth token. Ah, interesting. So interesting. That means this one is wrong. So I also need a user ID. Which is going to be a string. And it will be set in main, and it will be where is it? Where is it? Can't see it for looking. Here we go, out channel ID, out user ID, which is going to be config bot user ID. Yep, it takes 3 arguments now, but not for long. Okay, now could we possibly do it? Hey, there it is. And we should still be able to receive chat using the other token. Nice. Oh, man. Tricky stuff. Okay. Well, in 4 minutes, I will have been on for 4 hours, so I think that's sufficient. Let's commit. Um, Send and receive working using separate tokens. And now to find somewhere much more interesting to go. And I know exactly where. We'll go and see Mordecai. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it.